Hello there. I haven't recorded in this format in a while, so I'm using a different camera though. This camera is not doing very well. Anyway, my previous video on the Olympic boxing gender debacle, I don't know. I kind of regret making that video, although it did garner me over 1,000 views. That's rare. I don't think I agree with most of the comments on that video. I don't give a shit about gender, male or female. People are people. But the whole, women shouldn't compete with men thing, yeah, I get it, all right? I'm into combat sports. I get it. But, all of a sudden you're endocrinologists and geneticists all of a sudden. But the IBA, come on, they're funded by Russian oil money. Anyway, a little thing that was mentioned in the previous video about Iman Khalif having a very low knockout ratio, and that is somehow proof that she's actually a woman and not a man. Amateur boxing is not about knockouts. It can be, but that's not the main objective in amateur boxing. Fighters have become bigger and stronger these days. What does this have to do with the amateur combat sports? It's about physical requirements. It's about technique over power. The contrast between amateur and professional combat sports is not only in rule sets but also in what is expected of the athletes. There are two types of professional fighters: those who go straight to professional fighting, and those who fight in the amateurs first and then go professional. And there is kind of a difference between them, especially in what they prioritize. In professional fighting, physical advantage is immediately rewarded. If you're bigger and stronger than your opponents, usually you'd be much better. You'd have better results. Technique is still important, being technically skilled is still important, but most professional combat sports, you have knockouts, you have finishes, or in submission grappling, there are submissions, as opposed to amateur combat sports featuring grappling, like wrestling, for instance, judo. They score throws and pins first. They don't have submissions. Now, there's a whole history to that why they took out submissions from those sports. Well, judo, you can actually submit, but they favor the ippon first. While wrestling, they took out the stranglehold, because it's very injurious. That's a topic for another time. There have been plenty of professional fighters who have exhibited a lot of power and not that much technique. You can say Deontay Wilder, maybe. He did fight in the amateurs, right? He was an Olympic bronze medalist in the 2008 Olympics. Ricardo Mayorga, especially, like that guy, just he punches kind of weird, but he was a world champion. Then going straight to professional fighting, technique is still very important. You gotta learn the sport, of course. And if you combine both physical prowess and technical skill, you can become a pound for pound great. As opposed to going from amateur to professional, if you have a very extensive amateur record, amateur fighting rewards technique over power. There are certain amateur combat sports, like certain karate rule sets, wherein they actually disqualify you if you knock out your opponent, which is somewhat ridiculous until you understand that kumite means sparring, right? It means fighting in training. It is a training method. So if you knock out your opponent in training, that's actually harmful not only to your training partner but also to you, because there'd be less people who are willing to train with you, right? There's that. And then in amateur boxing especially, the scoring system dictates what is required of you from amateur boxing. Now, of course, Paris Olympics is ongoing right now, and Olympic boxing has gone on to use the 10-point must system since 2016. God, the 10-point must system. Why did he go for that? I guess, to increase viewership and stuff. I don't know. Like, it's easier to understand as opposed to the old system where they scored clean hits, which I think is still much better for amateur boxing. But, with Olympic boxing, you want viewers to better understand the sport. That's why they go for the 10-point must system. The same system that is used for professional boxing, which is, rife with controversy and headaches. Then again, even before the 10-point must system was implemented, there have been so called robberies with Roy Jones Jr., for instance, and Floyd Mayweather. Now, the idea that the scoring system and the rule set dictate the style extends beyond just amateur combat sports and amateur boxing. It also extends to Muay Thai, for instance. The reason why the Muay Thai, traditional Muay Thai, not the Muay Thai that they're trying to sell in one championship. Traditional Muay Thai, stadium Muay Thai is what it is because of its particular rule set and scoring system. Not just, not just damage. It rewards beautiful technique. It rewards Muay Thai above all else. You can't just wail your arms around, brawl, and expect the judges to score it your way. Unless you're able to knock your opponent out, of course. But with all the different weapons that a Muay Thai fighter is able to use, are you just going to be able to go in there and wail your arms around and be able to knock out a Muay Thai fighter? Likely not. One of the best things I learned about Muay Thai is from the Von Douglas Itos, Sylvie Von Douglas Ito and her husband, Kevin Von Douglas Ito, who has a very good Twitter account, well, X account. And I have since written a blog post about this. Most people don't understand Muay Thai because it's not really about aggression. No, it is not. People misconstrue that. Muay Thai is about standing well. Your objective in Muay Thai is to stand well and make your opponent not stand well. And that is maintained by the rule set and scoring system of Muay Thai. In amateur boxing, it's kind of the same thing. Wherein clean hits, it does its best to maintain boxing as the art of hitting without getting hit. That's why it rewards clean hits. And if you get hit clean by your opponent, they score. So it rewards technique over power because if you want to hit clean and accurately, you gotta be more deliberate with your punches. And that means you can't hit with as much power. You cannot load up because they're gonna be able to dodge that. They're gonna be able to defend against that. And you see some fighters, in fact, they won't throw full power because they value accuracy. You could try it yourself. If you really want to be accurate, you shouldn't be throwing like full blown haymakers because those can miss. But if you're be more deliberate, you want your punches to come out quicker and more accurately. You actually can't put as much power into it. And as you follow this line of thinking, you then start understanding that you gotta fight a certain way, a more technically sound way, in order to better hit without getting hit. And then that's where you see a lot of the amateur styles. The styles that are now being exhibited in professional boxing by the likes of Vasil Lomachenko, Alexander Usyk, and especially Dmitry Bivol. Dmitry Bivol is the perfect example of that Soviet style with the pendulum step and like the going in and out and throwing your hooks this way, and it's really sweet. They had their own version of the sweet science, and it's pretty sweet. Like it's really fun to watch. The Cubans are also fun to watch. That's why you have the likes of King Kong Luis Ortiz and of course Guillermo Rigondao. When amateur boxers with extensive records then go into professional boxing, they adapt to the greater physical requirement. They would have to bulk up a bit more, be able to put more power into their punches, and diversify their offense. But while they're still in the amateurs, they have to prioritize what the rule set demands of them, and that is to score. And that's why amateur boxers don't have as many knockouts as professional boxers. And that goes into, why would you want to go professional in the first place? For more fame? For more money? Yeah, it's for the money. That's why it's called professional in the first place. If you want to keep fighting for honor, then stay amateur. A lot of the best fighters in the world right now prefer staying amateur, especially Kyokushin fighters. There are a lot of Kyokushin karate fighters who choose to remain amateur because they see the professional kickboxing, especially, as kind of almost like prostitution. I've read stuff like that before. But yeah, the difference between amateur and professional combat sports is something that a lot of people don't understand. Maybe, hopefully, I shed some light to that. And I guess that's all for now. Yeah, and if you got questions or comments, maybe I got something wrong. Yeah, write about it in the comments below. What? Someone message me. Anyway, that was all for now. Till next time, stay Tor.